Oh, we're really loving that. Right, that's Neither Silence, who I'm joined by in the studio. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you both?
Yeah, good.
Right,
good.
thanks for coming. Now, I know you've had a journey in today.
M25 wasn't our friend today.
No, and it's weird because I was doing the travel, looking at the updates, thinking, I know we're stuck. I can see it. So, thanks for coming in. So,
Yeah, thanks for having us.
let's introduce you to listeners.
Right.
I am Panos B, and I am the producer of Nyther Silence, composer, and I'm writing this kind of music.
Yeah, and co-songwriter Mark Anthony from Nyther Silence.
Fantastic. Now, you've been in, so tell us a bit about the band, because you've been in before. Obviously, we played this stuff before, so tell us a bit about the band, kind of how you formed and kind of, what you're about.
Yeah, so we met back in 2019. Yeah, back in 2019 we met and talked about just forming a collaboration, and really instantly we got into the studio, recorded our first album, Urban Tales.
And then the pandemic hit.
And then the pandemic hit, yeah.
Exactly.
And then recorded and released a second album, Recharge, and that was the album we were promoting when we were last here.
When you came in, yeah.
Yeah, when we were last here, and now we are here to promote our forthcoming third album called You Only Live Once, which comes out on the 8th of November. So, yeah, it's been busy. It's been good,
Yeah.
but busy.
It's
yeah.
good years.
Yeah, exactly. And how would you describe your music? How would you describe you guys?
It's a combination between techno, hip hop, trance. It's a mix.
It's a fusion.
Yeah, it's a fusion.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a real fusion.
And listen, I know we said this before, but you can hear influences from like Insomnia in there. I said that last track I felt had a bit of an Ibiza vibe underneath it. Which is great. And kind of, is this music that, obviously to make this style of music, it's got to be a passion. You've got to enjoy this style of music. And what do you think it is about this style of music that hooks people in?
Just feel good. It's just that we find it just to have a real feel good vibe. So I think that with the music we have created so far, it's just the theme is really kind of dance and having a good time. All three albums really.
The concept is to bring positive vibes to the people.
Positivity.
To bring positivity to the people. A lot of people have problems and etc. So we try to make their mood better.
Yeah.
So what is the process? Obviously, you say composer and lyricist, etc. between you. What's the process? How do you create a song? How does it start from start? And how does it end?
Yeah. Well, for this album, it was a similar process of the last album. Actually, I remember I was on holiday in Mallorca, just relaxing. And this guy disturbs me by sending me a batch of instrumentals that he'd just been working on, sort of on the quiet, and he sort of put it to me, look, let's do a third album. I've put a whole load of instrumental ideas together, and then that was back in September last year that I've received the instrumentals, because I remember, and really instantly I just started writing. Got in the studio, just started recording vocals and stuff, and after a bit of sort of back and forth, we managed to just finish everything. Back in January we finished the album, back in January. But really the last two albums especially have really come from Panos putting some sort of instrumental inspiration, little ideas together.
And how do you come up with, so when you're composing, do you get, would you get a melody in your head, or would you get a hook, or would you literally start from just playing around and tinkering? Or
the main way is I have an idea, I'm trying to play in piano, after to transform it in MIDI file in the computer, and after to combine instruments. I'm using sometimes samples, but I don't like it. So it's played music all the time.
So you always want to try something fresh and something new?
Yeah. I'm trying to create new sound, new music, and this is the only way.
And am I correct? So you obviously the music. You compose all the lyrics.
Yeah, I compose all the lyrics.
And the same process for that. How do you? Is it just literally you come up with a theme or an idea, or how does it work?
Yeah. So the first thing I think of is where Panos has sent me the music. I need to do the music justice with the lyrics by obviously writing the lyrics, etc. So really, I write from either my personal experience or experiences that I've observed, or even just what's going on in the world. So Peace, which actually was from memory, I think that was the first track we recorded.
Yeah.
And it was just what was going on in the world, and unfortunately that just seems to be an ongoing theme of, you know, fighting, killing and all the rest of it. So the theme there was just writing about, you know, how good would it be just to have peace in the world. Some inspiration may come from stuff I've been through, or just, you know, observations I've made by being in and around London. So yeah, a mixture of just real life experiences, I would say.
Yeah, I just got a message from a guy called Steve, who's one of our regular listeners, and he said, and we mentioned Ibiza, but he said that took him back to a holiday he had in Ayia Napa a couple of years ago.
Oh,
so,
that's very flattering. Thank you. That's very flattering.
Yeah, and it does have that feel about it. It does have that feel. So, so how do you kind of, obviously with music, you know, you can throw as much into it, and you clearly do. As me, how do you kind of progress as a band? How do you move on to the next album? It kind of, is it kind of, you produce an album and you let it breathe, and then you regroup, and how does it work, or is it constant kind of ideas?
How does it work? I think that's what we do. We would produce an album, release an album, and you know, both of us have got other projects going on as well, or sometimes we just might sort of rest, and then we'll just revisit it once we get a bit more inspiration. So the albums we have released in the past, if I remember rightly, there seems to have been 2-year gaps between them. So 2020 we released Urban Tales, 2022 was Recharge, and 2024 was going to be You Only Live Once. So yeah, I think after the sort of adrenaline of writing, creating, releasing an album, we probably sort of go into our own sort of corners for a bit, get involved in other projects, and then we sort of come together.
The first thing is, after we release the album, we want to put down the dust to clear our minds from any previous thoughts and move forward to the new.
But I really think that's the best approach, though, because you see bands that constantly fire stuff out, and then in the end the quality diminishes because they're just doing it by numbers.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, oh, we can throw another track out, we can throw, and it's kind of like they don't allow themselves to breathe and reflect on what went well, what they could maybe have done differently and stuff like that, and I think it's really important to take that space and to kind of build on it and get yourselves ready for the next one.
That's right, because I think when we've started creating, especially the last 2 albums, it's when we've kind of been ready and we've had some inspiration. So I know we've had conversations about, right, are you ready to do another album? And then you'll sort of play it cool by saying, yeah, we should do one, and then all of a sudden you'll just sort of create this magnificent
tracks in on holiday.
This like catalogue of songs, and then you know, I'd sort of then be inspired to just write as well.
The most important thing is to learn from the previous album and to see if it's something goes wrong, if it was good, to fix it better and better progression.
How critical are you both? Do you go back to old albums and re-listen every now and again and go, oh, we could have done that differently, or I really like the way we did that, or is it kind of a body of work that you kind of sign off and just think, right, that's done now, let's move on to the next?
I think we do listen to it with a little bit of a critical maybe ear to say, all right, we need to do more of this or less of this. So you know, we're obviously proud of the past albums, and we'll continue to be proud of the music we put out. But for the purpose of just trying to continuously improve, I guess we'll always self-analyze. You know, even stuff. Well, certainly I've done. You know, even on the last album, I think it was great, and I think, all right, I'll do less of that, more of that, and you know, and I'm sure we'll just continue to assess things we've done in the past in order to make future products better. But yeah,
you need to evolve in something better, not to be at the same point.
Stagnant,
to be not stuck on the same point. You need to evolve and bring new things. For example, new instruments, new melodies, new beats. All these things.
I mean, I think no matter
something fresh. That's the term.
That's it. Because I think no matter how good something is, me personally, I always like to approach the next thing of, right, we've done that, let's see how we can change the, you know, the flavour of it or the style of it just to be new. So yeah.
I always think as well that kind of, you know, with music, that, you know, some kind of styles of music are really in and then they disappear and they're less popular and everything. Your kind of style of music, because it is a fusion, it's always there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's always, you would always listen to, so I was listening to the tracks you sent me, and then I went back and listened to some of the Recharge album last night, just while I was planning the show. And while it's clearly moved on from the Recharge album, you could hear that.
Yes, definitely.
It's still got that core hook into it that would hook you in, and I think that's the trick with your music, that I think it kind of, it won't ever drop out of style. I don't think, because it gets you motivated. It makes you feel good. It kind of, you know, it kind of is that you can't fail to kind of be kind of invested in it. If that makes sense. It's just really powerful. So taking away, you know, obviously your style of music that you do, both of you, what do you listen to?
Panos.
My first hearings was from soul music. After I moved to the heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, and I'm still continuing to hear this kind of music. So it's my favorite music. Doesn't matter what I'm writing, but I'm listening.
Yeah, but that's the good part, because there's nothing worse than somebody being closed off and just liking one thing, because you can't breathe with that, can you? You can't you can't evolve with that, and that's the whole point. You influences from all sides.
The most important thing to hear, from my perspective, is to hear any kind of music and to to analyze the things and what this kind of music has to offer to you. So. Yeah, it's good to hear everything. At the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not on one specific style, because a lot of people hear heavy metal, hear techno, hear dubster or whatever, but one specific style. For my opinion, is not correct. Everyone must be hear everything and analyze, and also have something to take from this kind of music, from this style of music.
And there's nothing wrong with liking a track that's, you know, heavy metal, or liking a track that's kind of grime, or liking a track that's kind of pure pop. But there's nothing wrong with that. Take what you like, and you should. What about you? Mark?
Yeah, I grew up always just listening to such a varied, you know, genres of music. So everything from Motown, I was a big Motown head, soul to classic rock. I mean, Queen were one of my favourite groups, to ska, like the Specials. So such a varied, tasty music. Faithless, you know, Rudimental, just such a varied,
and all artists that are. They're what I call solid, so they're not like here today and then you've forgotten about them, they're still going. Even if they're not together anymore, you're still playing that sort of music, and those influences are heard throughout, aren't they?
That's right.
So kind of, what's it kind of, so the album is due out on
the 8th of November. So there's a bit of a bit of a gap. 4 or 5 months of promotion we're doing now.
That's right. It's good. So looking forward to that. So, and what are you kind of? Are you going to try? What are your plans for it? Do you want to try and play some of it live, or what are you thinking?
Definitely. So we're always talking at the moment about setting up some rehearsals to sort of play it live. So watch this space, because we were talking about a plan just on the way here actually. But definitely putting it out live, and just kind of
it will go down a storm live. I really
hope so, because I mean, I know people haven't heard the whole album yet, and they won't until it comes out. But we actually finished the album in January, and literally just cycling around London, I've just been listening to the album constantly, and it's a really, really feel-good album, and the production on it is absolutely amazing. I'm not just saying that.
Thank you.
It's absolutely amazing.
You still got your job.
Easily my favourite album.
And you just from I haven't heard the album, but the tracks I've heard, you can just envisage that kind of like quite an intimate venue, but really packed. Really enjoying it, and it just the atmosphere with it. And we're just gonna play some ads. We'll come back straight after.
Sure. Okay.
Hungry. This is Phoenix 90.
Yeah, welcome back to Ariana Grande. So I'm still joined in the studio by the amazing Nyther Silence. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, so before we go on and we talk again, just remind people about the album because they're going to want to they can pre-order the album now, can't they?
Yeah, so the album is available to pre-order now. The album goes by the name of You Only Live Once, and it comes out on the 8th of November,
Okay,
2024.
so all of these links will be on my show page and on the website at the end of the day with the recording of the interview anyway, so you can check it out on them, but I'll remind you on the show page. But yeah, start downloading, they'd appreciate it. Right, so let's just quickly move on. So let's talk about individual projects. What sort of things do you get up to as a sideline?
So at the moment, the main other thing I'm doing is a podcast with a guy called Mark Bedford, who's the bassist from Madness, and that's a monthly podcast called Top Marks Podcast.
Which is really good, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I do listen, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, thank you. And basically, I mean, Mark Bedford described it so well in terms of the podcast. Literally, is imagining sort of you and your mates down a pub or something and saying, "Oh, this is what I've been listening to. Oh, but this is what I've been listening
exactly
to."
the way it comes across.
Exactly, and just having such a laid-back, unscripted chat about the music that we brought to the podcast. So we bring 5 songs each, and at the end of it, we have a conversation about, okay, which track gets top marks. Hence the reason it was called Top Marks Podcast, and we're both called Mark. But yeah, really liking it. It's a monthly podcast. So,
yeah, highly recommend it.
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very good.
Thank you. And this genius has.
As usual, I'm writing music. I'm preparing a production for an let's say, upcoming MC in UK, 2C Cube, his name, and I'm preparing his album right now.
What do you do? Because obviously this is your passion. What do you do for downtime? Do you have downtime?
Yes, I have.
And what do you do?
Thinking.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But I just want because music is such an investment, isn't it? And like composing and doing everything. I just wondered if you have time to kind of relax and just downtime.
When you're relaxing, you're thinking. You chill your thoughts, your mind, and you're thinking music.
Yeah.
And after that, you try to play to reproduce it in an instrument. But the first inspiration comes in the mind, and you evolving on this in order to start playing and to produce it after that.
I was talking recently. I did a bit of a presentation to some school children and talking about this and kind of the role what to do. And I was trying to say to them, you know, music's the sort of thing that quite often younger people don't think about, but it underpins every single thing you do in life. It does. So yes. You're going to a supermarket shopping, there'll be music playing. You'll watch TV, there'll be a soundtrack. You go to cinema, there'll be a score. You're on the phone, there's music playing while you're waiting to speak to someone. And it underpins everything, the importance of it.
A lot of people believe that the great musicians believe that the music is math. Okay? And in fact, it's pure math. The music. However, at the end of the day, the music is any sound, any tone, everything you can hear outside. So you have different things to bombing you and to receiving ideas and to developing ideas.
Yeah, it's mad how it forms everything, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah. So where can people find out about you? Tell us.
So we are on all of the main socials. So we are on Instagram. Handle is Nyther Silence. We are on X, which used to be called Twitter.
I still call it Twitter.
Yes, I do.
So do I. I don't know one person who calls it.
Yeah. Again, our handle is Nyther Silence. We have a Facebook page, Nyther Silence. If you just Google us, you will find us. And Nyther Silence is NYTHER and Silence.
And when you say to people about kind of pre-ordering, where can they download and pre-order from?
So they can pre-order the album now from iTunes, but recognizing most people use Spotify nowadays, when our album does come out, it will be available on all main digital stores, being Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon.
Everywhere,
absolutely everywhere. Perfect. But they can pre-order it now on iTunes if they wanted to.
So we're going to end on this track. Is this the first single from the album?
This is the first single from the
What do you
album.
want to tell us about it?
Yeah, this track is called On a Level, and again, it's there's no deep message in the song. Actually, it's just a party song, and the single's out at the moment, so people can download that right now. The music video's out there on YouTube, which we absolutely love. But yeah, it's just a feel good party track.
Where did you film the video?
So we filmed the video
Vaults.
at the Vaults tunnels in Waterloo. Yeah,
Okay.
Vaults
I
tunnels.
was trying to work out where it was when I watched it. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out where it was.
Yeah, the Vaults, the sort of tunnels in just by Waterloo Station.
Yeah.
So we recorded that about a month ago or so.
Yeah,
But yeah, so between now and the album release, there'll be some other tracks released as well in the run up to the album release. But yeah, On a Level is the first single from the new album,
So
which
we're
we
playing
love.
that for you now. So thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you
So
for
to
having us.
remind people, at the end of the day, this will be on the show page and the station's website. So all the links to their socials, Nyther Silence. You can download the album now, which is You Only Live Once.
Yep.
It's available on the 8th of November.
8th of November,
There you go,
that's
remember
correct,
it. 8th of November. The single On a Level is out now.
That's correct.
Reach out to the guys on social media, add them, and stay tuned because I think big things are coming their way. This is On a Level.
Hello people, I am Mark Anthony.
I'm Panos B.
And on the 8th of November, we have our third album, You Only Live Once, coming out. We've just come out of Phoenix FM, a little interview there. How do you think it went?
Excellent.
I think it went really
I feel
good.
thrilled.
Yeah. I think it went really good. So 8th of November, we have You Only Live Once coming out. It's our third album. It's available to pre-order now. So yeah, please pre-order. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.